Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pash On Podcast. Let's get started with your host, Brian Pash.
Hi, this is Brian Pash, and welcome to another exciting podcast interview. On today's show, I have my good friend, Aaron Bickart. He is the general manager of one of the most exciting companies in automotive retail with new partnerships, Offerlogix. Aaron, welcome to the show.
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me here. It's great to hear your voice, and we're looking forward to this exciting podcast. I can't wait.
Yeah, we ran into each other at NADA. You were on fire with so many people coming to your booth and to talk to you about your new product suite. Last time we talked, you made a big announcement. That announcement was you were the first to offer real-time feeds of state, federal, and local EV credits. Let's pick up from that moment. How has that product launch been? And I mean, I've been following you. It seems like you have a whole slew of new partnerships that are coming to the table. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, let's pick back up on the EV. We call it the Offerlogix. But the one thing about EV, as you know, the market share is getting a lot fuller. There's a lot more people buying EVs. But here, the real thing is the customer journey. Most customers that are out there today don't really understand, what they qualify for. What's the federal credit, what's the state credit, and if their local utility company offers any particular credits whatsoever, for a charging station or just being in their local market, maybe as a rebate. So Offerlogix went out last year and figured out how to get all the federal, state, and utility tax credits. And we stood up an API, so any of our channel partners or future channel partners can subscribe or license this API and be able to call in by VIN, by zip, by marital status, by household income, by particular vehicles, and it's all dynamically done real time, right on their digital retailing platform, on their websites, or within their marketing platforms, into their CDP platforms, or whatever it is. And it took off by storm. We now have 4 companies that are fully integrated in on the Offerlogix platform API, and we have 2 more coming. Hopefully, they go live by May or June timeframe.
Yeah, that's great news. I love entrepreneurial success stories. Listen, we've all had those moments of doubt. Is this new idea going to work? And, of course, not all ideas work, but this was a home run. The timing was perfect. Can you mention what those 4 companies are that you have partnerships with?
Yeah. So the 4 companies that we're working with, and let me walk you through some of the nuances of the partnership. So one of the things, everyone's heard of this company. It's probably the largest OEM marketing company in the United States today. And they are very tied in with all the different OEMs. And I'm going to give you the name. It's called Epsilon. Epsilon has now released a product that they are now going. Everyone thinks of Epsilon always as service, but reality is Epsilon now has a product called Target Retail, and and I'd love to introduce you to them, Brian. They have an incredible CDP solution for email, mail, and the full path of the customer journey. And Offerlogix is now powering this Target Retail program that they just released to the OEMs, and it's going to take a massive splash into the industry. I think it's one of the best solutions I've seen out there in the marketplace.
Well, that's great. I just completed the research report on the rise of CDPs in automotive retail. I never had a chance to speak with the team at Epsilon, even though so many people had mentioned them. But I look forward to getting them included in my next update to the research report, because this is really a growing phenomena in automotive retail, the unification of first-party data and then the activation through new channels. Who are the other 3 companies, and how are they using this new data?
So the other companies are Carnow. I'm sure you heard of Carnell. I mean, they're dear to you. They've been with you and working with you through your conferences and everywhere. So,
Yep.
the way they're using the data is all different. I mean, every use case is completely different. Epsilon, would be using it, when they start doing marketing for EV vehicles. Do you qualify? And they have landing pages and so forth. And someone will click on that information and be able to put the VIN in, or the VIN automatically comes in, and then the zip, and then of course the dynamically of the household income or marital status automatically figures out the calculation from the EV federal tax credits and state tax credits as well as utility tax credits. But Carnell, as you know, has just released real time. And they have an in-store process. So now not only what the customer sees online, now when they go in-store, they also have a in-store process, and they have a real-time desking solution that they're fully integrated into Offerlogix now. And they're using the solution very well. And it's showing a nice improvement with penny perfect payments, as well as credit perfect payments too, as well. That we need to talk about, with my partnership with Equifax.
Right.
We can now have the soft credit pool automatically tie in to the payments using the unique FICO score, as well as the EV stuff. So imagine now having EV soft credit pool through Equifax, which we call credit perfect payments or qualified logic. And then you have the API. Now you have a complete customer journey, and you're giving the customer journey a personalized experience based on if they're looking at an EV, based on their marital status, on their household income, based on their soft credit pool, and based on a real calculation that is completely transactional. So Carnell has a complete suite of products going across their whole platform.
Man, I've been loving the progress of Carnell, Tim Cox, Bob Lemker. It's like I just love how they've evolved their platform, and it's great to see that you're part of that solution. So let's talk about the other two.
I got a couple more.
You got two more. Come on, these
two more.
These two were great.
Actually,
come on,
this is actually groundbreaking that hasn't even been released. But I do have permission to even talk about it. So the largest dealer group in the United States, as you know, is Lithia. So we are now powering Lithia. So Lithia has a product or a solution internally called LadTech, LADTECH, LadTech. So we are now powering all of LadTech. And what is LadTech exactly? Well, it's their internal marketing solution so they can go to market. As you know, Lithia has over 300 dealerships in the United States. I think it's about 307 to be exact. And they're very progressive. And they have regional marketing managers that work with their GMs, and they want to go to market, with their own internal marketing platform and be able to have the same customer experience across all the mediums of channels that they have. And there's going to be more to talk about with their preferred partners. Lithia has a list of preferred partners, for websites, SEO, SEM, and social, that you and I are going to need to pick up this conversation, because there's going to be a major announcement coming out from Lithia as well as from Offerlogix of how the disconnect from all these different partners are going to come together. And Offerlogix is at the forefront of it, with not only powering the LadTech platform, but also with Green Cars. If you ever go to greencars.com, you can take a look at that, and that you'll be able to see all the EV information sitting there. So that is live, and you guys can go out there and take a look at it. So we are now powering all 300 Lithia stores, or 307 Lithia dealerships, and soon to be the 14 or 16 they have in Canada too as well.
Great. Okay, those are three big guns. What's the fourth? I mean, this is exciting to hear. Entrepreneurial growth and market uptick. This is wonderful. Who's the fourth partner?
They're not live yet. This fourth one's not live yet, but the goal is for them to go live May 1st. And Dealer Built. So DMS, Dealer Built DMS, which is dear to your heart too as well.
Yeah.
And Dealer Built DMS is now being powered by Offerlogix. And we're looking forward to helping them bring in not only the rebates and incentives and calculations, but also all the EV and soft credit pool stuff too as well. But Dealer Built is going live on Offerlogix right around May 1st. So we're just in the final stages of development and ingestion of all the data. And that will be live probably right before your conference is April 15th to 18th, right?
No, it's in May,
Oh,
right?
in May.
May
In May.
21, 22,
Yep, so May
23.
21, we'll be live at Dealerbuilt. We'll be live with Dealerbuilt, and Dealerbuilt will be at your conference too. And I saw them on the sponsor list, so which is exciting news. And we have a couple more coming out, and hopefully we can announce them in May too. While I'm up on stage at your conference.
That's wonderful. And you know what's interesting, as I've learned more about the Dealer-Built platform, Mike Trassetti and Kendall, of course, you know Kendall and Dan Moore.
Great
Really,
people.
what's so unique about their DMS platform is their willingness to integrate with new partners, to evolve into offering more advanced services without the toll gate, without the hassle of integrations that, tech companies find with other DMS platforms. And so it's so good to see that your technology is going to be part of that open ecosystem.
Yeah. And not only is it open, but their relationships with their dealers are amazing. But their dealers love them, and they're willing to bend over backwards, and they're all about the customer experience at the end of the day.
Right. Aaron, as I hear your announcement with Lithia, when I hear your announcements with CarNow, Dealer-Built, I mean, your share of market at automotive retail must be growing. Now with the EV, even if someone else was using a different source for rebates, incentives, banking rates, you're the only game in town for EV. As you look forward to the second half of 2023 into 2024, market share prediction do you feel that you'll have of tier 3 rooftops being powered by one of the Offerlogix products?
So I'm not really sure what you're asking me there. So, but let me make sure I understand. So we should have a domination of channel partners that we're going to be dominating the tier 3 rooftops. We're not only doing it with our API, but now with the EV in the Equifax, now there's 3 different channels that we can get into the different through our channel partners into the tier 3 community. And it just becomes a great ecosystem for the personalized experience, which is what you're all about as a CDP, because as you know, Amazon changed the world. For all of us. And now, everyone's following. I mean, we're a little slower in the auto industry, but reality is you're going to see a massive shift in the next 60 to 90 days that you're not even talking about yet in your CDP platform, which I would love to talk to you about it and tell you what we're going to be having going on. But you're going to see a massive shift for the customer journey through all the different channel partners out there. And it's going to be spearheaded by Lithia. And Lithia is not only the Trojan horse to make it happen, they will make it happen. And the Amazon experience in the car industry will happen over the next 6 to 8 months, maybe a year it might take. But I can walk you through it. And they have a massive vision, an incredible vision, and a great execution plan to make it happen.
Well, one of the key pieces of improving a customer experience is to be able to know where your customer is at, being able to communicate them through their preferred channels, allowing the customer to control the pace of communications, and to make sure that when you reach out, offers are relevant. Communications are about vehicles they own, not sold 4 years ago. And when you think of all of the touch points, when someone calls a dealership and goes into their BDC, that customer could have bought 4 cars, services regularly, but that BDC agent picks up the phone and treats them as if they were a stranger. It's not done in any other major forms of retail. When I walk into Marriott, they ask for my ID, and then they say, Mr. Pash, thank you for your loyalty as an Ambassador Elite member. when I go up to the room, there's a note, thank you for your loyalty. Would you like some extra, this or that? And we don't do that in automotive yet. Companies like Lithia, AutoNation, even fast growing companies like the Morgan Auto Group are billion-dollar enterprises. And outside of automotive, people have been focusing on this 360 view of the customer, which we're now calling customer data platforms. And so it's great to hear, Aaron, that you're in the middle, because in order for it to work, you have to have real-time data feeds, you have to have accurate, clean data, and then you have to have the right partners to execute. And it's good to hear that you have a lot of confidence that the team at Lithia can execute on their vision.
Oh yeah, not only, we have weekly meetings, weekly stand-ups with Lithia about this execution plan they're coming to market with, and we're getting together. But the big piece of it is not only with Lithia, but it's also with a bunch of other partners too as well. And the partnerships are all coming together, and they all want to come together and create this synergy to make sure that the synergy is completely, from the touch point from A to touch point Z, is completely seamless. And it's going to become the Amazon experience, which we've all been asking for, Brian. You've been asking for it. I've been asking for it. And Lithia is going to execute on it some way or another, because that's their vision. And the good news is, I'm right at the forefront of it, and we hope to have it live, believe it or not, within a few stores. I would say by your conference. I would say we might have it in a few Lithia stores live, not a lot, but a few, as a pilot. And I say it would be live through some of our channel partners that we work with at Offerlogix, through some of the Lithia channel partners, and it's going to come live. I would say by your conference, by mid-May, we will definitely have it live. I know of 2 channel partners are already working through it, and we've been seeing some beta, and it's looking fantastic.
Well, Aaron, as I interviewed, I didn't interview Lithia for this report, but I did interview some other larger, in the top 10 size dealer groups, and then a number in the top 100. Everyone's starting to realize that the technology, the innovation, and costs of really creating a unified customer experience, elevating how we interact with our customers is really here. And so thank you for keeping us up to date, and we will definitely have you back to talk about that activation when that goes live. But let me loop back with something on Equifax. I did interview all of the credit bureaus and data pending services to see how they, play a role in data pending, data hygiene, data unification, identity resolution. But you're partnered with Equifax. Let's talk about what that partnership looks like. Is that a way in which you can bring in the soft pull credit solutions and EV tax credits all in one partnership with Equifax? What does that look like for the dealer?
Oh yeah, so yeah, they can bring, well, not for the dealer, for the channel partner, because I don't sell direct to dealers. So that's, which is unusual, I think, for a lot of people. They don't understand that channel, but this is more B2B to our channel partners that are serving the dealers. So we're I always say to everybody, we're kind of like Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory. We're the Oompa Loompas behind the scenes. We're creating the chocolate, and then they're ingesting it into their MarTech or AdTech platforms or whatever they're doing. But at the end of the day, so our partnership with Equifax, let me walk you through that. So reality is digital retailing platforms, as well as our EV, federal and state tax credits and utility credits. A lot of that stuff people don't really understand. So there are different tier levels within people's credit scores. So you might be a 770, Brian, but I might be a 700. I'm not going to pick on you. I'll pick on me. That I have a worse credit score. So at the end of the day, we can get a 5-liner, create a complete credit bureau back to the dealership through our channel partners. So what does that mean exactly? They get a full credit bureau. So if it's 8 pages, 10 pages, 15, you see all the trade lines. And we have built a wrapper into our API that automatically figures out all the loan to values, cap cost reduction, residuals, all the different tier levels for that particular lender or captive. And we're able to produce a credit perfect payment or a transactional payment right there on the spot. Now imagine be able to take that same information. The customer now dynamically goes online, figures out puts their zip in, puts their marital status, single, married, or whatever, household income up to 150, up to 300,000, or in 2024, you can now get federal tax credits on used cars up to 30% of the sales price of the EV, or up to $4,000, depending on of the information. That starts in 2024. So we have built a wrapper. Now, a lot of people don't realize that you can take that federal tax credit and apply it to your lease payment. That automatically, so imagine if it was $7,500, and I'm at tier 2, right? Now you have $7,500. Now that takes off $20 to $25 per $1,000. That comes right off the lease payment. And then we also have the higher interest rate or the higher money factor or higher, whatever the residual is. And then we can provide a complete, seamless, personalized payment for that consumer based on what they've inputted into the system. So it's completely personalized the way the customer wants to go to market.
Wow. Love it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Aaron, the speed at which your company has adapted to market opportunities is a model for others to follow, especially as we've all been talking about EVs for a while, and no one really thought, well, if we're going to be selling these online like many of the OEMs expect to happen, the payments have to be right and the selling price has to reflect these adjustments. Or if we're going to do CDPs, if we're going to create personalized one-on-one communications, text messages, or direct mail pieces, everything has to be correct. This is an exciting time for the Offerlogix team. You're also going to be at DMSC. Why do you like coming out to our conferences, Aaron? Give me a little feedback. And for the vendor community, the dealer community, I always try to make sure our conferences are one step ahead of what dealers need to know. So they're always, able to get a foot up on their competition. What are you looking forward to as our first year in Austin, Texas?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for moving it to Austin, because Santa Rosa or Sonoma was a little far away for a lot of us. Now, I could have went there. My brother used to live out there, so it's a beautiful area. But we love Austin, Texas. Thanks for moving it a little bit closer. It's a little bit more centralized in the U.S. So I think your turnout's going to be a lot better. I'm sure you already see that. But what we love about DMSC and all your conferences is that they're very progressive. We're not sitting back hearing the same thing over and over. I think the speakers you bring on board are entrepreneurial. I think they're thinking outside the box, and they're thinking differently. So every speaker that will come on with you says something that I can pick up and I can understand. They always say plagiarism is a great thing. Steal. So I actually listen to every one of your speakers. I don't sit in the front row, but I sit in the back, because my personality, I like to be out of the not in front of everybody. But at the end of the day, I like to hear what they're saying about especially now with the new CDP platforms and how they're doing it. And what they're and I try to read between the lines of what they're coming out with next, because they always share something, a future endpoint that they're coming out with, or a future solution, or how customers are looking at different things, as well as the stats they always put up on the screen.
Yep.
So everyone's very progressive at your conferences, and then we love that. And our team loves coming to your conferences. Not only that, and also the networking. We also love the networking. The networking is completely, bar none, probably one of the best things about your conference too, as well. We meet a lot of new people, and just being there and feeling the energy of what's coming out within the industry is bar none great for us.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. And for dealers who are listening to today's podcast, I have 2 words of advice. Number one, make sure you check with your digital retailing and website providers, especially in regards to EVs, that they're using the Offerlogix EV tax credit feed, the Offerlogix feed. Make sure that that is part of their solution set. And if they are not aware of it, make sure they reach out to Aaron. And then number 2, we want to invite you out to the DMSC conference in Austin. We have a number of themes that are really critical for dealership success in the years ahead. Number one is unifying your first-party data, managing it, securing it, unifying and activating it. And the CDPs are part of that story. Artificial intelligence. There's some amazing tools that are helping dealers with one-to-one communication, backstops for their call center. So whether you're talking about digital voice assistants like Brooke or Stella, or if you're thinking about AI tools for sales and service like Impel or Connect AI, there's a lot of really good practical AI coming out. Of course, we have marketing automation, the latest tools and strategies to create an omni-channel marketing experience with closed loop attribution. I think that's super important. And of course, GA4, we've added a full day of training for GA4. And those of you who come to DMSC, you can add that fourth day for just $95. So it's an exciting time. Austin, flights are cheaper, hotels are cheaper. It's easier to get in and out of. So make sure you go to digitalmarketingstrategies.org and get your tickets today. And if this is the first time you're listening to one of my podcast interviews, you should know that there are dozens of interviews online talking to people like Aaron who are pushing the automotive industry forward, disrupting common thinking, and bringing new innovative products to create that better customer experience that we've all been waiting for and talking about for years. So you can go to brianpash.libsyn, Libsyn.com, or just go to your Apple Podcast channel, your Google Play Store, and look up the Brian Pash Podcast. Aaron, before we close our interview today, what's one thing you want to let dealers know as you look out in the forefront? You're working with some exciting dealer groups. What's one word of advice, encouragement you'd like to share with the dealers listening today?
Well, me coming from the car background, at the end of the day, work with the great channel partners that you have. But reality is all about the customer experience. Today, if you're not giving the greatest customer experience, the customer is going to go somewhere else and not think about you, not only for service, but also for sales. So at the end of the day, it's all about the customer experience and the journey of that experience sitting there. But I also have a second piece of the puzzle there. Now, so customer experience is the end. But I think training your salespeople, because today's world has changed completely over the last 2 years. And I think training, our salespeople need training. They just can't sell any car like they used to. I think it's becoming a little bit more difficult. So training is key, as well as customer experience is key. So training and customer experience is the two things I'd like to leave it with.
Great words of advice. Aaron, thanks for being on the show. And for everyone who's listening today, please share this interview with your colleagues, especially your channel partners, to make sure that they are leveraging these new real-time data feeds for EV, penny perfect payments, and really creating a great customer experience through CDPs and marketing automation. And for everyone, I hope to see you in Austin, Texas in just a few weeks. Until then, I'll see you next time on another podcast interview.